Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Joe Borio with Chiropassion Consulting, weekly Thought Flash. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm actually sitting in the living room at our house, and behind me, obviously some great photographs of different moments of some really important people in my life, my family, certainly my wife and kids, along with other family and friends. And I thought sitting here today in the house would be a nice setting for this week's Thought Flash. I wanted to start today with just a quick attention brought to the journal. I write for the journal every week, and this September or August, I'm sorry, they had the Chiropractic Passion article that I'd written. It was the primordial subluxation. We actually did a couple of thought flashes on it, but in reading it myself, actually, when the article came out, it's funny because a lot of times they're written a couple of months in advance, and I just really was drawn to those last couple of paragraphs in the end, basically with the idea that we are, as chiropractors, focused on this symptomatology based process. I should say we as all of us, but too many of us are. And that's really what has led us to where we are now. You know, we have chiropractors that are looking for their own identity. We have schools that are looking for their own identity. We have so many chiropractors that are, because of the lack of philosophy, are really starting to identify chiropractic as a treatment for back pain. So now we're arguing whether or not the chiropractor is as good as a physical therapist, or as the medical doctor in drugs, or as a physiatrist in injections to the spine. And that's not at all what chiropractic is. And it's tragic. You know, when I listen to guys like James Chestnut, who I absolutely love, and I love his information out there, you know, he argues that a lot of chiropractors need the science to back up what we say. And I agree with that 100%. But I think what is lacking in our profession is the philosophy. And when I look at a guy like Billy DeMoss, who's a friend of mine, and we're going to be speaking there in a couple of weeks here on the 17th, 18th of September at the DCS Clubhouse with Brad Glowacki, with the New Patient Maven. You know, it is great to speak to him, because it was actually Billy DeMoss that was the inspiration for so many of these other groups on philosophy. When you talk about, for example, like EPOC and CORE and so forth, and Billy DeMoss had such a dramatic influence. When you talk about B.J. Palmer and lighting a candle, that's going to inspire so many other people. You know, it's great to be associated and affiliated, and it's a real honor to be his friend, because you get to see what this guy did, and it's understandable why he was, you know, Parker Chiropractor of the Year this year. A great book, we talked about it a little bit, is Giant versus Pygmy. This is the Fred Barge version of it, if you will. Giant versus Pygmy was actually a pamphlet considered to be one of the green books by BJ, but never was in print. But when you read through this, it's great because Barge kind of gives you an interpretation, or a thought, a T-H-O-T in his words, of an afterthought of what BJ was talking about. And it really is a great book, because it's really focused on the metaphysical aspects of the philosophy. I think it's a must-read for everybody out there that's in practice. It's certainly a must-read for everybody in the profession. But I think it's that lack of philosophy, and that's what I love about those other groups, and that's what I love about the Cal Jam that's coming up in February. If you haven't registered, certainly got to go to caljam.org. But you really need to embrace yourself and immerse yourself within the philosophy, because if you are going to work considering the idea that you are there to treat somebody for an ailment, or you're driving home from work one night and you're thinking, I really am frustrated because some people aren't getting better, then you are off the mark in what you're trying to do in the office. You are treating people with an idea of an outcome, as opposed to addressing the misalignment in the spine and allowing the body to function as well as it's supposed to. If you are in the idea of being depressed, or your patients are frustrated and depressed, if they're not doing any better, chances are you've led them with an expectation that they're supposed to get better with what you do, as opposed to look at what I'm going to do is allow the body to work better and allow all those messages to get to the body parts like they're supposed to, so that the body can work the way it's supposed to. And in most cases, the body should be able to overcome almost any challenge or health challenge that the patient is suffering from. And you need to let patients know that most likely the problems that they're suffering from are from the fact that they've neglected their spine. And as a result of their spine being neglected, it's led them to be sick in so many ways. And then it's your job to allow the spine to work better so all those messages can get there. In the end of this article that I had written, I did a final paragraph really off of an inspiration for BJ, but I wrote that the objective of the chiropractic adjustment is to remove interference from innate intelligence, allowing every precious flicker of thought and signal to reach each cell, with the sole purpose of manifesting pure illuminated light. As BJ Palmer put it, the adjustment is to improve the flow of the mental impulse and nothing else. And I'll tell you, the closer you can practice to that form of care and adjust it, as opposed to the idea that you're there to relieve them of symptoms, the better practice you'll have, the greater growth you'll have. You'll have, people talk about side door and back door and the front door. Are you bringing in enough new patients? Are people not making their appointments? Are people dropping out? Let me tell you, the closer you are to the principle of what it is chiropractic is about, then those other doors, if you will, aren't nearly as important. It doesn't mean you don't need to manage those, certainly as a practice manager or as a business owner, but clearly those other doors don't become in question because people are there for the reason that they're supposed to be there. And it makes your practice so much more fun, so much more enjoyable, and the only way you're going to get there is you have to immerse yourself in the principle every day. And by doing that every day, it's easier to start thinking in those terms. But it's going to take a while, just like anything else. You got to train yourself in order to get there. A couple of things coming up. Number one, we're going to be in Manhattan. We're going to be speaking at the New York State Chiropractic Council I believe in the Manhattan group. The first week of September, we're going to be speaking in Manhattan. The second week of September, again, we're going to be speaking in California at the DCS Clubhouse, September 17th, 18th, Birthday of Chiropractic, which is going to be just absolutely awesome with Brad Glowacki and Billy DeMoss at the DCS Clubhouse. The following week, 24th, 25th, we're going to be at LaGuardia Airport with a Chiropassion Consulting event. We're going to be in Orlando, Florida in November. We're going to be in Las Vegas in January. We've got a lot of great events coming up. We're going to be I'm going to be one of the speakers at the Cal Jam event in California in February 2011. So, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Certainly visit our website. You can call our office at any point. All my contact information is there. We'd love to have you part of our Chiropassion Consulting Program. By all means, get hold of us any way you can. And may innate flow from above down. And you guys have a great week.
My best friend gave me